RV News Channel on Trump's $90 dinar contract confirmed IQD holders. Prepare now. Iraqi Dinar, News Today, 2025, written in paragraph format without headings. Welcome back to RV News, your trusted source for the latest developments. Real-time updates and deep dive analysis on the Iraqi Dinar, Vietnamese Dong, and all major currency revaluation movements happening in 2025. If you're here, it's because you understand the stakes, you know history is in the making, and you want to be ready when the moment arrives. Today, we are breaking down the news that has stunned the global currency investment community. A confirmed $90 per IQD contract reportedly connected to none other than Donald Trump. Yes, you heard that right. A potential structured deal that could set a precedent unlike anything we've seen before. This is not a drill. This is not speculation pulled out of thin air. The chatter, the insider confirmations, and the leaked documents all point to something seismic taking place right now behind the scenes. And for every IQD holder, this is your wake-up call to get prepared. The story started to gather steam over the past week when multiple Tier 1 banking sources began reporting that certain high-level contract rates had been discussed in closed-door meetings involving former U.S. President Donald Trump. While the mainstream media is silent, possibly by design, the alternative financial channels and currency intel circles have been buzzing nonstop. The reported figure, a jaw-dropping $90 per Iraqi dinar under special redemption contract arrangements. To put that in perspective, if you hold just 1 million dinar, we are talking about a potential payout of $90 million under such a contract, even if these contracts are available only to certain groups or qualifying individuals. The fact that such a number is being discussed openly in official banking circles signals that the revaluation landscape has fundamentally shifted. Why Trump? Why now? Multiple insiders suggest that Trump has been positioning himself and his network of business allies to control strategic energy, construction, and infrastructure contracts in post-revaluation Iraq. This ties directly into reports that Iraq's government has finalized agreements to pump billions into rebuilding cities, modernizing oil infrastructure, and upgrading its currency systems. Trump, being a seasoned negotiator with deep Middle Eastern connections, would naturally be in a prime position to broker large-scale deals that could be directly linked to currency valuations. Remember, this isn't the first time we've seen political heavyweights connected to currency contracts, but the sheer scale of $90 per IQD, if rolled out to even a select group, dwarfs anything we've heard before. Let's pause and put this into context. Right now, the official market rate for the Iraqi dinar is nowhere near these figures, but the concept of contract rates has been part of RV Intel for years. These are negotiated rates between currency holders and the entities, usually sovereign governments or megacorporations, that need those currencies for strategic purposes. A $90 rate suggests that the value to the buyer is not just in the currency itself, but in the broader economic leverage it provides. Imagine an oil company needing massive amounts of IQD to pay Iraqi contractors in country post-revaluation. If securing that currency now, even at a high USD cost, guarantees them billions in future profits. Then suddenly, $90 per IQD becomes a calculated investment rather than an irrational purchase. The confirmation reportedly came through a high-security call between a major U.S. bank's executive team and an overseas counterpart. According to a trusted RV community insider, the words Trump's $90 dinar contract were explicitly mentioned in connection with a classified Tier 4B briefing. That same insider revealed that the bank has been instructed to prepare for a surge in redemption appointments with a focus on verifying contract rate eligibility. This suggests a two-tier process, a general public exchange rate, and a higher contract-specific rate available only under special terms. The fact that Donald Trump's name was attached to such a high-value contract indicates not only financial muscle, but political weight in ensuring those contracts go through. Naturally, the big question among IQD holders is, will the average investor have access to these rates? The answer, while still developing, seems to be nuanced, based on historical precedent and current chatter. These $90 rates may be limited to those with direct participation in Trump-affiliated projects, or investment groups, potentially through non-disclosure agreements, and proof of large-scale currency holdings. However, even if you don't fall into that specific category, the presence of such a high number in the market can have a spillover effect, pushing upward pressure on the public rate. In other words, even the standard exchange rate could see a dramatic boost simply because high-value contracts establish a new market ceiling. Another fascinating angle is the timing. Iraq has recently passed critical legislation allowing for foreign investment at unprecedented levels. Their central bank has been modernizing digital payment systems, expanding gold reserves, and coordinating with international banking partners. Meanwhile, the International Monetary Fund has quietly been signaling that Iraq's economic outlook is strong enough to support a significant currency adjustment. Tie this to recent oil deals, Iraq's ascension in OPEC influence, and the push to de-dollarize certain Middle Eastern trade agreements, and you have a perfect storm for a revaluation. If Trump and his allies have already secured contracts at $90, it strongly implies that the real RV trigger is much closer than most people think. One thing that can't be ignored is the sheer logistics of a $90 redemption rate. For banks to process such transactions, they must have massive liquidity and ironclad payout structures in place. This is not the kind of thing you can improvise. It requires months, if not years, of planning, regulatory clearance, and cooperation between multiple governments. The fact that we're hearing credible reports of contract paperwork being finalized means that the infrastructure to support these payouts likely already exists. This is why we've been seeing subtle signs from the banking sector: sudden IT upgrades, extended internal staff training sessions, and quiet hiring of currency exchange specialists. For IQD holders watching this unfold, preparation is not optional, it is essential. That means having your currency organized, your proof of purchase documents ready, and your exchange strategy mapped out. If contract rates require NDA signings, you'll need to understand what those agreements entail. If private exchange appointments open suddenly, you must be ready to move within hours, not days. The RV landscape is a race where timing and readiness can mean the difference between securing life-changing rates and settling for whatever the public market offers. Some skeptics will dismiss the $90 figure as too extreme to be credible. But consider this: currency reevaluations are not just about the printed money in your hand. They are about global leverage, resource control, and strategic positioning. If a post-RV Iraq becomes a global energy hub and a cornerstone of Middle Eastern stability, owning IQD at any price below its future utility value is a massive advantage for corporations and governments. Trump's track record in securing advantageous deals, whether in real estate, politics, or business, fits the profile of someone who would orchestrate such a move. The man is no stranger to big, bold, headline-grabbing numbers, and while his critics scoff, his supporters often find themselves cashing in on his calculated risks. In the coming days, watch for subtle indicators: banks suddenly sending out appointment notifications to select clients, unusual market spikes in the IQD black market rate, government press releases hinting at economic reforms without naming the RV outright. All of these can be breadcrumbs leading to the main event. It's also worth noting that the $90 figure could be a way to signal insiders to get ready without causing a full-scale public panic. In past reevaluations of smaller currencies, similar leaks have served as coded warnings to those in the know. So where does this leave the average IQD holder? In a position of cautious optimism, but with the urgent need for preparedness. If you are sitting on substantial IQD holdings, start building your exchange plan now. Research your local Tier 1 and Tier 2 banks. Identify which ones have historically handled foreign currency exchanges at competitive rates. Reach out discreetly to wealth managers who may have inside access to private exchange programs. And most importantly, stay plugged into reliable intel sources, because when the window opens, it may be brief. The Trump factor changes everything. His name carries influence, whether you like him or not. If his network has secured contracts at $90, that tells you two things. 1, the RV is real and in advanced stages. And 2, there is a level of urgency among insiders to position themselves before the public rollout. If history is any guide, the biggest payouts happen quietly, behind closed doors, while the rest of the world finds out after the fact. Don't let yourself be on the outside looking in when this unfolds. In conclusion, the confirmed chatter around a Trump-backed $90 per IQD contract is perhaps the most electrifying development in the RV world this year. It aligns with Iraq's economic trajectory, the banking sector's quiet preparations, and the geopolitical shifts in the Middle East. Whether or not every investor will have access to such a